Hi guys, welcome to my channel Creatively Expressive. My name is Amy and today I have some really unique ideas on how to use pool noodles from the Dollar Tree to create oversized Christmas decor. Today's video is also a collaboration with Only Christmas Lights. They sent me some lights to try out and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but first let's get into the DIYs. For project number 1, we are making a giant Christmas candle. For this project, I'm using this cardboard tube that came from a rug that we bought. And I know you might not have this exact tube, but you could use a shipping tube or something similar. I will also be using some pool noodles from the Dollar Tree, a set of fairy lights from the Dollar Tree, a foam wreath form from the Dollar Tree, this round wood plaque that I got from Walmart for $1, this charger plate that I got from the Dollar Tree, and this yellow solar Christmas light that I got from the Dollar Tree. The first thing that I do is take two 48-inch pool noodles and cut them in half. Then I cut a 21.5-inch piece of the cardboard tube. I'll take one of the noodle pieces and tape it to the cardboard tube, trying to twist it around the tube the best that I can. Then I'm going to mark the noodle on the tube with a pin and then remove the noodle from the tube. I'm going to be using contact cement to adhere the noodle pieces to the tube. The way the contact cement works is by applying it to both objects that you're wanting to stick together, and then letting the cement set up for about 20 minutes before sticking your objects together. I'm starting by applying the cement to the tube in the section that I marked off. Then I decided to cut a flat spot on the noodle first before applying the cement because I thought it would stick better that way. Once both surfaces have the cement on them, I'll wait 20 minutes. Now I can stick the two pieces together and it gives you an instant bond. Now that the first noodle is applied, I can use it as a guide to apply the rest of the noodles. I have 5 noodle pieces here because I thought it would need 5, but I only ended up needing 4. I am applying the contact cement to the rest of the tube and then the rest of the noodles. Then I let them sit for 20 minutes. Now I can stick the rest of the noodle pieces to the tube, lining up each one right next to each other. Then after you stick the noodles on, you want to apply some pressure to them to make sure you have a good bond. Now I'm going to cut off the noodle pieces that are longer on the tube on the one side. One thing I learned after making this is that I should have made the noodles longer than the tube on both ends because it makes it easier to get them straight this way. Now I'm taking the extra pool noodle piece that I had and I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to use that piece to go around the bottom of the main piece. Now that I cut it down to size, I am covering the flat sides and the ends of that piece with contact cement. Then I am applying the contact cement to the bottom of the main piece and then I will wait 20 minutes. Now I can stick the smaller piece to the larger one. Now I'm going back inside and cutting 3 cardboard circles to fit the top of my candle. I used this pail for a template, but it was just a little too large, So then I cut it down a bit and I ended up making it just a bit too small. But it still works out pretty good. I take the Christmas light and I trace it in the center of one of the cardboard circles, and then I cut that circle out with an X-Acto knife. I hot glue the two circles together and then I cut the inner circle out of the second piece of cardboard. Then I glued the third circle to the second and cut out the inner area from that one. Now I have a base for my Christmas light. And in case you haven't noticed, I am using only the bulb part of the Christmas light for this project. Now I want to cover that cardboard, so I'm tracing it onto some white felt and then hot glue it to the felt. Then I use the cardboard circle as a guide to cut away the excess felt. Then I glue it to a second piece of felt to make the felt more opaque. For the center of the felt, I'm just going to cut 2 lines going through the center in opposite directions, and the 4 little pieces this will make will just be pushed under by the Christmas light. Now I'm taking a piece of felt and gluing it around the edge of the cardboard, and I do 2 layers of felt around the sides as well. The felt wasn't quite big enough, so I had to fill in that space with the second piece of felt, and I'll just make sure that this is the back side of the candle. Now I'm going to cut the bottom edge of the felt in a curved line to look like melted wax. I didn't like how you could see a gap between the 2 sections of felt on the top, so I'm going to glue on a third piece of felt to the top, cut away the excess, and then recut the center hole. Now I want to spray paint this foam wreath form, but I know from experience that spray paint can eat away foam. So to solve this problem, I'm going to first cover the foam in a layer of Mod Podge. Now I want to attach the foam ring to the charger plate. To do this, I'm cutting a wood plank that came in a pack from Dollar Tree down to a 1-inch wide piece. Then I just eyeball it to see how short I need to cut it, and then I cut it shorter with my miter shears. Now I'm using a pumpkin carving tool to cut a flat spot on the bottom of the wreath form. Then I sand it to make the spot more even and smooth. Then I hot glue the wood piece to the flat spot on the wreath form. Now I use Starbond super glue to glue the wreath form to the charger plate by applying the glue to that piece of wood that I glued to the wreath form. Then I tried using the super glue to glue the wood plaque to the center of the charger plate, but it didn't seem to want to stick, so I ended up using hot glue as well. Then I will take the charger plate base outside and spray paint the whole thing with gold spray paint. Now here's where you can see how the one end of my candle ended up being crooked. To try and fix that, I ended up just gluing random scraps of cardboard to the bottom. It was still crooked though, but I'll fix it. Now I'm hot gluing the candle to the candle holder. And you can see I have a gap on the one side. So I just cut down a couple more pieces of cardboard and I hot glue them in there to fill in the empty space. Now to make the flame light up, I'm going to fill it with this strand of fairy lights that I got from the Dollar Tree. I need a place for the battery pack to go, so I'm tracing it onto the back side of the candle, and then I cut it out and remove that piece of the noodle. Now the battery pack fits snugly in there, and I can just pull it out a bit to turn it on and off. Now to cover up that ugly area around the bottom of the candle, I will wrap a piece of Christmas garland from the Dollar Tree around the candle twice, and then cut off the rest. Then I hot glue the ends down to the charger plate. Now to dress up the candle just a bit more, I glue some Christmas flowers and pine cones from the Dollar Tree to the front. Now that I have done that, this project is complete. What do you guys think? If you guys like this one, please leave me a candle emoji in the comments section. As I mentioned earlier, today's video is a collaboration with Olney Christmas Lights. Olney sent me 2 of these 1200 LED multicolor Christmas string lights to try. This set is 393 feet long, they are waterproof, and they have 8 different lighting modes, and they come with a remote control. The remote control comes in handy because it allows you to easily choose a lighting mode. The different lighting modes it offers are steady on, sequential, chasing, twinkle, in wave, which is my favorite, slow glow, fade, and combination, which automatically cycles through every mode for you. It also gives you 3 timer settings so you don't have to worry about forgetting to turn these off, and an option to make the lights dimmer or brighter. So I turned off my lights and I'm going to cycle through the settings for you. And then I'm going to take you outside and set these up and show you what they look like on my house. And I just gotta say, even before putting these on the house, I was impressed by them. The lights look small, but they're really vibrant and pretty, and I love all the different lighting options. So now we're outside and my husband is hanging these for me. One thing that surprised me is just how many lights there are and how much coverage one strand gives you. When you get the box and open it, you'll think it's small compared to other light strands you find at the store. And even though the box states that you get 393 feet, you might not realize how far that goes just by looking at the light spool. But with one strand, my husband was able to start on the side of our house, go along the roof eaves on the front of the house, and then still had enough to go along the other side of the house and the whole wall in our backyard. I just want to say thank you to Olney for sending me these lights. We've never had this many lights on the outside of our house, and it's exciting seeing it all lit up and festive looking. I also wanted to mention that Olney has a lot of different options when it comes to light sets. They offered these multicolor lights that they sent me, the cool white lights, warm white lights, a set that lets you choose to either have them be white or multicolor, icicle lights, net lights, curtain lights, and many other options. If you would like to get a set for yourself, they are offering 20% off through December 10th with the coupon code shown on the screen. I will also include the coupon code in the description box with a link to their website if you want to check them out. Now let's get back into the DIYs. For project number 2, we will be making this North Pole. For this project, I'm using the leftover cardboard tube from project 1 and cutting it down to 3 feet. Then I am taking a white and a red pool noodle from the Dollar Tree and cutting them in half. I'll tape one of the noodle pieces to the tube and spiral it around the tube as I'm taping it down. Then I am taking a pen and marking on the tube where I taped the noodle. Now I'm using the handle of a push broom to hold the cardboard tube for me. Then I will cover the entire tube in a layer of contact cement and also the cut sides of each pool noodle. Then you know the drill, we gotta wait 20 minutes for the cement to set up. Now after 20 minutes, I can stick the pool noodle pieces to the tube. I thought I was going to need all 4 pieces, but I only ended up needing 3. When attaching the first noodle, I am following that marked pen guideline that I made on the tube. Then with the second, I will use the first noodle as my guide, and with the third, I will just apply it to the remaining uncovered area on the tube. And this time I was smarter and I left the noodles longer on both sides of the cardboard tube. Once I have the noodles attached to the tube, I'm going to cut them down to line up with the ends of the tube. Now I want to use that remaining piece of the white noodle to put a piece around the top and the bottom of the pole. I measured around the pole and then I cut the noodle to that length. Don't do that. It makes the noodle too short. Instead, wrap the noodle around the pole and then cut it to the correct length. Now that I have 2 correctly sized pieces cut, I'm going to apply contact cement to the cut sides of the noodle, including the ends. Then I'll apply a layer of cement to the top and the bottom of the pole. Then we wait 20 minutes. Then I apply the rings to the top and the bottom of the pole. Now for the base of the pole, I'm using a scrap piece of 2x8 and 1x6 wood, and I cut them into squares. I'm gluing them together with wood glue, and then I attempt to use the nail gun to nail them together. I say attempt because only one of the nails went all the way through the wood, and then my husband had to hammer them the rest of the way down for me by hand. Now my husband is finding the center of the squares for me and then marking it. Now I'm using his drill press, fitted with a 3/4 inch drill bit, to drill about a 1.5 inch deep hole into the base. And then I'm going to use a broom handle from the Dollar Tree that has been cut shorter to go into the hole in the base. Now I'm going to use some caulking to fill the holes on the base that I made with the nails. I let the caulking dry for about 30 minutes and then scrape and sand off the excess caulking. Then I will paint the entire base with white paint. Then when the paint is dry, I coated the entire thing with clear gloss top coat. Now I'm going to take that broom handle and glue it into the hole on the base with Starbond super glue. And then I put the North Pole over the handle. I cut a circle of felt to fit on the inner area at the top of the pole, and then I mark on the felt where that center tube is, and then I cut that area out. I hot glue the felt to the pole, and then I cut a second piece and glue it on top of the first piece. I will be using a set of fairy lights from the Dollar Tree, so I need to make a spot for the battery pack to go. I mark on the noodles where I want to put it, and then I cut that spot out with an X-Acto knife. But since these noodles are thinner than the ones I used on the candle, the battery pack doesn't sit back far enough in them. So then I need to cut that spot out on the cardboard tube as well. And the pumpkin carving saw came in handy for this. Now that I have the battery pack situated, I will string the fairy lights inside of a large clear ornament that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I will place the ornament in the hole on the top of the North Pole. To hold the ornament in place, I add hot glue around the base of it. Now I want to dress the pole up a bit. So I take a piece of garland that I got from the Dollar Tree and I wrap it around the base of the globe twice. I cut it and then I hot glue the ends to the pole. Oh, and I forgot to mention, every time that I use hot glue in this video, it's a low temperature hot glue gun so I don't melt the noodles. Then I made a bow with red ribbon from the Dollar Tree and green ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to hot glue it to the front of the pole at the base of the globe. And once I've done that, this project is complete. If you enjoyed this DIY, please leave me a Santa emoji in the comments section. Now for project number 3, I will be using 2 of these 30-inch LED lawn decor candy canes that came from the Dollar Tree, and 2 white pool noodles that I also got from the Dollar Tree, and this red ribbon that I got from Michael's. First I measured the entire candy cane and it measured 37 inches. Then I added about 5 inches to that number and I cut the pool noodle to that length. I added 5 inches because I was afraid of it ending up being too short. Then I am going to thread the candy cane through the center of the cut pool noodle. I want to be able to reach the on-off switch on the candy cane, and as you can see, it's too long for me to do that. So I ended up cutting it down to 37.5 inches, and that seemed to be the perfect length for me to be able to reach that on-off switch. And what's cool is that in the dark, the lights on the original candy cane still shine through that white pool noodle. Now I want to attach the new candy canes that I made together. I put one on top of the other, and then I mark the spot where they overlap. Then I use the pool noodle knife and an X-Acto knife to cut that section out of the one pool noodle. Before attaching the two candy canes together, I'm going to give them some stripes, and I'm using that red ribbon from Michaels to do this. I will use a low temperature glue gun to attach the ribbon to the noodle. I'll leave some ribbon hanging longer than the end of the candy cane because I want to be able to tuck that inside of the end of the noodle. The hardest part of the candy cane to cover is where it bends. For that section, I just kind of folded the ribbon here and there and glued it down so that I didn't get any bulging or bubbling in my ribbon when going around the bend. When I get to the cut section of the noodle, I will cut the ribbon and then glue the end down into the hole. Then I will start a new piece by gluing the end into the other side of the hole. You obviously don't need to include this step when covering the second candy cane. Then just continue to spiral and glue the ribbon down until you reach the bottom of the candy cane. When you get to the bottom, cut the ribbon leaving some excess, and then glue and tuck that extra ribbon into the bottom of the noodle. Now that both candy canes have their stripes, I'm going to attach them together with a zip tie. I tightened the zip tie as tight as I could, but I should have left it a little looser for a little longer, and you'll see why in a minute. Now to dress these up, I'm using some holiday berry picks that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I am just trying to tuck the stems into the zip tie. But I can't because I made it too tight. So I add another zip tie to the candy cane, leaving it looser this time, and I tuck the stems in, fanning them out at the top. The first zip tie is getting in my way, so I cut it off. Then I also tighten and cut the second zip tie to hold the floral picks in place, and then I cut the ends of the stem of the floral picks. Then I take another piece of that red ribbon and I fold it in half and hot glue it around the area with the zip tie. I made a bow with the red ribbon from Michaels and the green ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the center of the candy canes. Then to add just a little bit more flair, I'm going to glue on a few red and silver ornaments in different sizes from Dollar Tree to that center area of the candy canes. To hang this, I just tied a piece of fishing line around the center area, leaving it a little loose so I can hang it on a hook. And once I have done that, this project is complete. If you guys like this project, please leave me a candy emoji in the comments section. Now for the fourth and final project, I will be making a large gift box. For this project, I will be using 6 pool noodles from the Dollar Tree. Each pool noodle measures 48 inches long, and I am going to cut each one down into 4 12-inch pieces. Then I hot glue the 4 pieces together like you see in the video, and I'm going to make 6 of these sets of 4 noodles. Once I have all 6 sets complete, I am going to stack and glue them all together. Now I'm using some 9-foot Christmas garland that I got from the Dollar Tree to cover the noodles. I start by gluing one end of the garland down to the side of the noodles right along the top edge. Then I'm going to wrap the garland around the sides of the noodle box, gluing down where I think it needs glue as I go. When I run out of garland, I glue the end down and then I start with a new strand. And the nice thing about using garland to cover the noodles is that it's okay if the ends of the noodles are not perfectly straight because the garland will hide any imperfections. And I will just keep wrapping and gluing the garland until I get to the other end of the box. When I get to the top, I will start gluing the garland down, going in one direction until I reach the edge. When I get to the edge, I will fold the garland and start gluing it down in the opposite direction that I was just going in. And I will keep doing this until the entire top is covered. And to cover this box, I ended up using a little more than 7 strands of the 9-foot garland, but not quite 8 complete strands. Now that the box is covered in garland, I want to add ribbon and a bow to the box. To do this, I'm using this silver ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to glue one end of the ribbon down to the bottom of the box, centering it. Then I will wrap it around the gift and glue the other end down to the bottom of the box on the other side. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the other sides of the box. Now, since every other project had lights on it, I wanted to incorporate lights into this project somehow as well. So I decided to use 2 strands of the fairy lights from the Dollar Tree and tuck them under the ribbon on the gift. I put a small amount of hot glue just under the ribbon on the bottom of the gift, and then I stick the wire part of the fairy lights into that spot of glue. Then I'm going to continue tucking the fairy lights under the ribbon until I get to the other side of the box. Then I will cut a hole in the bottom of the box for the battery pack to sit in. Then I will do the same thing with the second set of fairy lights under the second strip of ribbon on the box. And then I will need to cut a second hole at the bottom of the box for the second battery pack. I want to add this big bow to the top, but it only has 2 tails, and I want to have 4 so that there is one going in every direction. So I just cut 2 more tails and glue them to the bottom of the bow. Then I hot glue the bow to the top of the gift, and then I will dovetail the ends of each tail. Then I will fluff up the bow and the tails, and this project is complete. If you guys enjoyed this one, please leave me a gift box emoji in the comment section. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope it's inspired you. If you did enjoy the DIYs that I've shared with you today, please show me some love by subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, giving me a thumbs up, commenting, or even sharing this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. And I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! So I wanted to get out a lot more Christmas videos this year, and I had planned on getting one out a week after the last one released, but then I got this awful cold that would not let go of me, and it totally threw me off schedule, and I'm so behind. But I hope you guys will still enjoy the next couple of Christmas DIYs that I have for you, and I hope you'll watch them, and I hope you'll comment and share and like and subscribe and all the good stuff.